I always enjoyed those flamenco and more Araby sounding scales and sounds. Along with all the pop, rock, metal, funk, bluesy playing that I've done over the years, I've also been playing Latin songs for as long as I can remember. And like any genre, you have its greats and its not so great. But ever since I started doing my own songs, even if I'm usually within the symphonic, progressive, rock, metal genre, for as long as I can remember, I've wanted to take that Latin vibe and do something cool with it. But while I would often figure out some riffs and think they were cool, and even sometimes actually try and dedicate some specific time to work on that Latin-inspired song, the vibe just wasn't usually there, and I would end up leaving with something that was pretty cool and would sometimes actually inspire some of my other songs, but it just didn't have the vibe of that something that I was looking for. Until the random day like 2 years ago maybe, when I figured out the main riffs for my latest release song Trinagulate, which you can and should go check out anywhere you listen to your music at. Now don't get me wrong, it's a completely different culture, it's not Latin inspired, but when the Miss Marvel show came out, while watching one of the latest episodes at the time, I still had the guitar laying on my lap. I don't know what happened, something within the score just triggered something for me because I was just jamming along to some of the scenes, and after the scene stopped, I was just actually in the zone, and the show kept playing, but also so did I. And I actually had to stop the show a little bit and go back to the groove because I just didn't care about the show anymore. I was entranced within my own playing and within my own groove. I ended up figuring out this riff and then the one after it, which then triggered and inspired the whole song. I'm a nerd if you couldn't tell, and I know the MCU has been weird lately, and people have mixed opinions about the Miss Marvel show, but in some ways I'm super grateful for this show because it made me actually figure out one of the songs that I've been wanting to do for the longest time. And I'm pretty sure that if it wasn't for that show, I probably wouldn't have figured out that song. I might have still done a Latin song, but probably not this one. In case it wasn't obvious already, go check out my latest release song, Trinagulate, and leave a like, comment, subscribe, follow, and stay tuned for more because I'm releasing new songs every week and I'm releasing new videos every day, twice a day. While sharing the demos of my songs with some of my friends, one of them sent me back the link to my latest release song Trinagulate, which you can and should go check out anywhere to listen to your music at. And they were like, hey buddy, cool song, but I think you might have misspelled the name. Like, what even does it mean to Trinagulate? And honestly, this is going to sound way stupid, but it is the truth. I figured out this riff, the main riff within the song. That riff, while following some kind of Latinish chords, is really just composed of triads. And even later on in the song, since I had such a cool vibe going with the previous triad riff, and triads are just the 3 notes that compose a chord, I thought to myself, triad, 3 notes, 3 points of focus, 3 points, triangle, kind of trying to triangulate with this song. While naming the file, I just made a silly mistake and ended up writing Trinagulate, and didn't notice until I saved and closed down the file and then reopened it again. But the more I thought about it, Trinagulate actually sounded pretty cool because it is also a bit of a disservice to the Latin genre to compare my song to other Latin songs. So while I was trying to triangulate, I didn't really achieve it, I was just trinagulating. And honestly, I just think it is a little bit funny. In case it wasn't obvious already, don't forget to go check out my latest release song Trinagulate, and don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, follow, and stay tuned for more because I'm releasing new songs every week and I'm releasing new videos every day, twice a day. I'm sure you guys have been working on a song or even just something creative in general, and while sketching it out or demoing it, you end up adding this step or texture or whatever it is that wasn't originally envisioned to be in there, but after you've experienced it in there, you just couldn't take it out. In the case of my latest release song Trinagulate, which you can and should go check out anywhere to listen to your music at, for the first verse I did this riff that is almost like a comping bit where I do some chords and the melody along with it. I thought I'd take those same chords and general vibe but solo over them during the second verse. It already had all the percussion, orchestral, and general instrument parts laid down. I just just needed to record the guitar solo, and I actually ended up doing this more double stop, chill, almost vocal melody part rather than doing a more shreddy and fusiony solo. And instead of entering with the solo straight away on the first beat of the first measure, I actually delayed it a little bit. So I thought to myself, why don't I cut off that first section of the verse entirely and only have the verse come back in when the guitar solo comes back in? Which really gave that second verse a completely different vibe than the one that I had originally planned for the song. But I actually think it not only fits the song better, gave that song a feeling of doing something different where I'm not just repeating myself and trying something new purely by accident. I legit wasn't trying to start the verse like that, it just ended up sounding better like that. In case it wasn't obvious already, go check out my latest release song Trinagulate, and don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, follow, and stay tuned for more because I'm releasing new songs every week and I'm releasing new videos every day, twice a day. Even though there is all this theory about orchestration, aka the way you distribute certain notes and passages or licks between different instruments and instrument families, according to things like their register and tone, it can also just be one of those things where if it sounds good to you, then just don't worry about it. I first envisioned my songs being played by a trio, but when I started listening back to my recordings and it was sounding a little bit weak and thin, after being influenced by some of my bandmates, I started adding the symphonic orchestral part to it. And at first, because they were just demos that I was working with, I was just worried about thickening up the sound, whether that meant adding some passive chords underneath or having some strings or brass instruments just playing back the same parts as the guitar to make it sound a little bit more powerful and juicy. But things started to change with my latest release song Trinagulate, which you can and should go check out anywhere to listen to your music at. I got the drums / percussion down, the guitars down, the bass down. I had an idea of where I wanted to go before recording it when I started to program and orchestrate some of the parts while doing the wall of sound, thickening up sort of a thing that I used to do in older songs. While it didn't sound bad, it just wasn't giving me the vibe that I wanted. And so I thought to myself, because Trinagulate is supposed to be a Latin-inspired song, let's lean into that more Latin orchestration rather than my prog rock balls-to-the-wall sound. Since I'm working with orchestral sounds, I started panning all the different instrument families into their actual orchestral placement, since the guitars are already doing the melodies and main riffs, focused way more into the whole call and response thing, and make the whole song a bit more sophisticated and professional, especially within this Latin genre that I was being influenced with. I'll play you a little snippet of it, where if you're wearing headphones, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to listen to all the different instrument families separately. In case it wasn't obvious already, go check out my latest release song, Trinagulate, and don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, follow, and stay tuned for more because I'm releasing new songs every week, and I'm releasing new videos every day, twice a day. But for the most part, I play instrumental, pseudo-guitar-focused music. I like the whole pseudo-progressive, odd-time signature, funky, fusion chord of a thing. But it gets a little bit more complicated when I'm inspired by country music or blues music, and I want to do a song in that genre, just adding it my own signature twist, if you can call it as much, from all the before-mentioned genres that I'm also influenced by. And it's usually pretty easy to find the balance for what I'm looking for with my own song. But in the case of my latest released song, Trinagulate, which you can and should go check out anywhere to listen to your music at, in this case, it wasn't exactly like less was more. It was slightly more complicated because I was trying to a little bit Latin sounding song. and although I had a pretty good bass foundation to work with, I would often start adding some other things into the song, like some different chords and intervals, and sometimes even sounds and textures that would take us back more into the progressive rock genre that I usually do, and less into that Latin vibe. I actually ended up putting a lot of ideas in a drawer that later on can be used to other songs, but specifically not being used into this song because it would take away from the Latin vibeness of it. Which was kind of weird for me because I'm not sure it actually happened before with any of my other songs. But hey, in some ways, that's what's fun of this whole songwriting composing thing. In case it wasn't obvious already, go check out my latest release song, Trinagulate, and don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, follow, and stay tuned for more because I'm releasing new songs every week and I'm releasing new videos every day, twice a day. For this video, maybe I should be using this guitar. Longtime viewers of the channel might actually recognize this guitar. This is a limited edition Fender Rarities series. It's basically a regular Strat with an alder body, but has this flame maple top slash veneer with an HSS configuration. And the most obvious details, the fact that it is a thin line, so it's semi-hollow up here, and has this F-hole running through it, and has a one-piece rosewood neck. And while I usually use the Tele for like 99% of everything that I do, whether that's live playing or recording guitars, I often use this guitar because it has a humbucker and slightly different pickups to record lead guitars on my songs. And although it has a 5-way switch with multiple tones and you can even coil split the bridge pickup, 90% of the times it's on the bridge with some boosted crunch sound to do the solos. But in the case of my latest release song, Trinagulate, which you can and should go check out anywhere to listen to your music at, I actually felt a little bit of that feeling of option paralysis when it came to tones. Because the song was inspired by these more Latin vibes, just using straight bridge pickup with a lot of gain just wasn't exactly the vibe that a song was calling for. And for a bunch of the riffs, I would start recording on the bridge pickup and being like, yeah, that sounds kinda cool, let me try the neck pickup. Okay, the neck pickup sounds kinda cool, but what if I use the 4th position? Well, the 4th position sounds kinda cool, but what if I use the middle pickup to get a different sound that isn't usually on these sorts of songs? And just became completely chaotic because I would end up spending more time test driving tones than actually recording the song. And now, don't get me wrong, I love this guitar and I love the fact that it has so many different sounds on board. In fact, that's even the whole point of using this guitar rather than just using the Tele for everything. That way you can create some separation within the mix with all the different guitar sounds. But actually, sometimes some more limited options can actually do you pretty fine to stimulate that focus and get shit done attitude. So it is pretty cool to be playing this very heavy overdrivey section with the bridge pickup, and when you move to a more chill section, you can just do that flick of the pinky and move to the 2nd position while you move to the next riff and get a completely different vibe just from the tones in your guitar. In case it wasn't obvious already, go check out my latest release song, Trinagulate, leave a like, comment, subscribe, follow, and stay tuned for more because I'm releasing new songs every week and I'm releasing new videos every day, twice a day. here we are to the end of another week where I release a song, and every single day I release videos twice a day about said song. In case you haven't yet listened to my latest released song, Trinagulate, you can and should go check it out anywhere to listen to your music at. You can go into my YouTube channel, there's a full playthrough / music video that you can also go watch. And once more, I have to take the time to thank all of you guys for all the support you guys have been leaving on these videos. It really makes all the hard work worth it. Just because we're done with this song, it don't mean we're over. Starting tomorrow, I'm releasing a new song, and along with it, the consequential daily videos twice a day. It's been really fun to share my songs with you guys, so it would be great to have you along for another one. I can only hope you leave a like, comment, subscribe, follow, and stay tuned for more.